Zaire is known as a country destroyed by boxing, which subsequently wiped its name off the map. The story unfolds on October 30th, 1974, when Zaire decided to host one of the most iconic boxing matches in history. The match, titled The Rumble in the Jungle, pitted two of the greatest fighters of their time, Muhammad Ali and George Foreman, both of whom had African heritage. To host the event, Mobutu Sese Seko, a notorious dictator, agreed to pay each boxer $5 million. The total cost was $10 million, equivalent to over $60 million today. This was just for the two boxers, not including other expenses. While this was a huge price to pay for the fight, Mobutu Sese Seko was a propaganda investment. He wanted to use this match to project Zaire's image as a modern and influential African nation on the world stage, while simultaneously improving his own tarnished image. In the early 1970s, Mobutu was at the peak of his power. He had successfully eliminated his opponents and enjoyed considerable support from the West. The price of copper and other commodities was skyrocketing, filling his country's coffers. What he needed was a world stage to showcase his new, developed Zaire. That opportunity came in the form of Don King, a cunning and ambitious boxing promoter. King had a brilliant idea: to stage a world heavyweight title match between undefeated champion George Foreman and legendary challenger Muhammad Ali, who was trying to reclaim his throne. King promised an unprecedented payday of $5 million for each boxer. The problem was that no American promoter was willing or able to pay $10 million. In this situation, Don King began seeking support abroad, where he found it in Mobutu Sese Seko. Mobutu was convinced that making this match happen would elevate Mobutu's status exponentially. He would become a global statesman, not just an African dictator. The fight was marketed as a return to the African homeland of two Black American heroes. The match, scheduled for September 1974, was postponed to October 30th due to Foreman's injury. The event was preceded by a 3-day music and cultural festival called Zaire 74. The festival featured America's biggest R&B and soul stars, such as James Brown, B.B. King, and the Spinners, along with other top musicians from Zaire. The goal was to create a cultural celebration of the African diaspora. The fight drew journalists and celebrities from around the world to Kinshasa. They saw the streets, which had been forcibly cleared for the event, tight security, and large banners praising the dictator. Meanwhile, Muhammad Ali, with his wit and charisma, served as the unofficial spokesman for the event. He quickly won the hearts of the Zairean people. He ran through the streets of Kinshasa, surrounded by children chanting Ali's name. Ali embraced his African identity and spoke out against Foreman, who was perceived as more aloof and American. But behind this glamour lay a grim reality. While the elite celebrated, ordinary people continued to struggle with poverty and oppression. The cost of the event was a heavy burden on the country's economy. The match was an expensive illusion, paid for by resources that should have been used for schools, hospitals, and infrastructure. The Rumble in the Jungle was a final celebration before a very dark dawn. The glamour and global attention of the match obscured the fact that Zaire's economy was a house of cards, waiting for the first gust of wind to collapse. That wind came in the form of a collapse in copper prices, and the house of cards collapsed catastrophically.